Want to know how to make the chewiest chocolate chip cookies in the whole entire world? Stay tuned for my top secret chocolate chip recipe that everybody. Plus, stick around to the end if you want to know how to make these bad boys. Welcome to Domestic Goddess Dani, and today we make the best chocolate chip cookies in the whole world. Now, the key to your ingredients is to make sure everything is at room temperature. So you're going to need 2 sticks of butter at room temperature, 3/4 cup of dark brown sugar. Make sure it's the dark brown kind, that's important. 3/4 cup of white sugar, 1 egg and 1 egg yolk, 2 tablespoons of cream or milk, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of salt, and I have them both together here in this cup. One cup of mini chocolate chips, and 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour sifted. Okay, first things first, party people, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and line a baking sheet with parchment paper. In the bowl of a stand mixer or a large mixing bowl, you're going to cream together your 2 sticks of butter. Make sure they're soft enough that you can push your finger into them, but not melted. So you're going to mix those with your white sugar and your dark brown sugar. The dark brown sugar is important because it'll help keep your cookies even chewier. So you're going to cream your butter and your sugars together on a medium speed. I have my mixer set at 4. Meanwhile, while you're creaming your butter and your sugars, you want to sift together your all-purpose flour along with your salt and your baking soda. Back to our mixing bowl. Let's see how we're doing over here. Just stop your mixer, and you're gonna wanna scrape down the sides just to make sure that you get all that goodness at the bottom. As you can see, there is some light and some dark of the butter and sugar mixture. You wanted to get it to be all that light whipped butter sugar mixture. So we're gonna let it keep going for a little while. So while we're letting that keep on creaming, let's get our eggs ready. You want to crack 1 egg on a flat surface. This way it helps prevent getting eggshells in your cookie dough. And then you're going to want to separate the yolk and the white in your other egg because we only need the yolk for this recipe. All right, back to our creaming mixture. We're going to stop the mixer and take a look at it. As you can see now, it's lighter in color and it looks a lot fluffier. So that's how you know you're ready to move on after creaming. If in doubt, I would say let your butter and sugar cream together for a minimum of 2 to 3 minutes. Go ahead and restart your mixer at a low speed, and then you can add in your eggs one at a time until they're well blended. Next up is you can add your cream in, and the same thing, mix it until it's well blended. Mix in your vanilla. Once everything is well combined, stop the mixer and scrape the bottom. Restart your mixer on a low speed, and then you can gradually add in your flour, baking soda, and salt mixture. Mix that together until just combined. Finally, you can add in your 1 cup of chocolate chips. Or, whatever feels right to your soul. Now that you have everything combined, you want to scrape down the paddle and bowl. No sense in wasting any of this. So as you can see here, I am using a 1 tablespoon scoop. It's about 1 inch in diameter. You're going to scoop level tablespoonfuls of the dough and drop them on a lined baking sheet. The size of your baking sheet will depend on how many cookies you can bake at one time. The size of mine is allowing me to put about 20 on there. I'm leaving about 1 inch in between each cookie for them to spread out. And then make sure you put your cookies in the center rack of the oven. That ensures for the most even baking on top and bottom. Set your timers for 9 minutes to start off with. Baking time is usually going to take anywhere between 10 to 12 minutes, but it all depends on your oven. Baking times can vary depending on the age of your oven, what type of oven you have, as well as things like altitude and the temperature in your kitchen. Here's how you'll know your cookies are done. They're going to be just starting to brown around the edge. They may look undercooked still. They might even be slightly pale, or they may be even a little bit shiny on top. But I assure you, your cookies will continue to bake when they come out of the oven. And here's what your cookies are going to look like after they've had a few minutes to cool on the pan. They will flatten out and they will be nice, soft, and chewy. You can then remove them to a cooling rack and continue with the rest of your dough until all of it is gone. I was able to get roughly 65 1 tablespoon scoop sized cookies. And check those out. Don't those look great? In honor of my husband's birthday this weekend, I decided to make a spin on the traditional recipe. Instead of using the mini chocolate chips, I opted to use the mini M&Ms that I found in the baking aisle. And I've also decided to add a buttercream in between the 2 layers. In a large mixing bowl or the bowl of your stand mixer, you want to sift 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. Toss in about a 1/2 teaspoon of cream of tartar. This helps with the stabilization. Also add just a pinch of salt. This helps temper down the sweetness a bit. Next up, you want to add any kind of flavorings you might want to add. For this one in particular, I'm adding a birthday cake flavoring. If you're going to use cake flavorings, make sure that you only start with just a few drops at a time. A little goes a long way with these flavorings and extracts. Believe me, I've learned the hard way. As you can see, I'm using just enough to cover the bottom of the cap, which equates to just a couple drops. Then you're going to add 6 tablespoons of softened butter. I'm using salted butter. Always starting out on the lowest speed possible, unless you want a cloud of sugar in your face. Begin to mix up your sugar with your flavorings and your butter. Once your sugar starts to get moistened, go ahead and turn up the speed just a little bit. And then you're going to want to add just enough milk or cream until it comes together nice and creamy. I would start at about a teaspoon at a time until you reach your desired consistency. Don't forget to scrape the bottom as you go. As you can see, a lot of mixers tend to leave behind some dry ingredients at the very bottom. Make sure you're testing as you go, and then you can go ahead and add a little bit more flavoring if you decide that you need to. The key to a great buttercream is to whip, whip, whip. So let it go for as long as you want, but honestly, I suggest anywhere between 7 to 10 minutes. Let that baby go. The more air you get into it, the lighter and the creamier she'll be. Look at how creamy that buttercream is. That's what you're looking for, nice and light and fluffy. I'm using a Star pastry tip number 824, and I put that in a piping bag. You're going to fill up your piping bag with the buttercream. Lay out half of your cookies upside down, and then you're going to just pipe a buttercream rosette or a spiral in the center of the cookie. Cover the tops with another cookie, and then you have your special chocolate chip cookie whoopie pie wannabe sandwiches. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments if you give this recipe a try and how it turned out for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more adventures in homemaking.